I have a love-hate relationship with Beyond Two Souls. Beyond Two Souls is Quantic Dream's fourth video game, but this is the one everyone started with. Heavy Rain was my first exposure to this type of cinematic narrative game experience, and I fell in love with the concept of a game that looks like a movie where I'm in control of the story. It was one of my favorite games at the time, and kind of still is a little bit. I imagine the people who liked Heavy Rain were very excited about Beyond Two Souls, a fictional biography of this girl with another soul tethered to her. I wanted to make a video talking about this game that wasn't just another Let's Play series, like a full edited video giving my thoughts on it. My love-hate relationship with this game is more of a love-dislike. There's a lot of things I love and dislike about this game, but nothing I really hate about it. If you think there are things I should hate about this game, make your own rant video about it. There's not enough of those. I'm approaching this from the perspective of someone who liked the game the first time I played it, but over time I realized, oh, this game is kind of a mess, actually. An interesting mess. A fascinating mess, if you will. This is by no means a critical analysis. I don't even have a script for this video. I'm just going through the game's story and presentation and sharing my thoughts on it. The reason I'm not making this a Let's Play series like every other video on my channel is because I didn't want to do live commentary on this game as I'm playing it. You'll see later in the video that there's a few parts of this game where I just have nothing to say about it. I would rather just record all the footage, edit it together, and talk when I have something to say, you know? And maybe I just wanted to make a video without facecam. You don't need to see me for this video. Anyway, this video is going to be long as hell. When did this game come out? The game released for the PS3 in 2013 and was remastered for the PS4 in 2015 and for PC in 2019. Okay, with that premise of the story and release info, let's jump into this.
I was born with a strange gift. The ability to see what no human being has ever seen before.
This is Jodie, and this is the timeline of her life and the game.
It's all mixed up in my head. I need to remember. Put things in order right up to this moment.
She does not put things in order. In the original PS3 game, the sequence of scenes you play in this timeline is completely random. You play through these scenes entirely out of order and are supposed to piece together the story from these random scenes you're playing. The first time I played this, I guess it was an interesting mystery that kept me engaged, trying to figure out what events led to what scenes, like, oh, that's why that happened, that's why we're here.
If I had to say how it all began, I might just as well start here.
I found you by the side of the road, in the middle of nowhere. Was there an accident? Did someone try to hurt you? How about a name? Someone I could contact? You must have family, friends, someone who could tell me who you are.
Hey. After the opening monologue, it shows you this police station scene, which chronologically takes place in the middle of the game, like 2/3 in, but here it serves as the intro hook to get the player to wonder what's going on. What happened to this person?
Is that a scar? Is that recent?
You've got to stop them. They have no idea what they're up against. Tell them to wait until I get there. Just get back to them immediately, you hear me? You've got to stop them. Goddamn fools.
Oh, and also Willem Dafoe is in this game. That was a huge selling point. He got his own trailer.
I know. They're coming.
Hold on, what's going on?
Girl you brought in earlier. Where is she?
You know the person who asks way too many questions at the beginning of the movie that the movie hasn't answered yet because the movie just started? This is that type of scene. What was that paranormal activity thing with the coffee mug? Who was Jodie talking to? Why is there a SWAT team hunting her? Like I said before, this scene takes place in the middle of the game chronologically, so there is context for what's happening, but we're not supposed to know that yet. Next, we see a glimpse of Jodie's childhood in a heavily monitored facility.
I hate to bother you when you're playing and all, but I believe it's time, honey.
Remember how the prompts in Heavy Rain were like, move the right analog stick in the direction it shows? They're white dots now. Just move the stick in the direction of wherever the dot is on screen. I think I remember some players struggled with this vague minimalist design change of the prompts, and honestly, that's a skill issue. This shit was intuitive. Don't even get me started on the action sequences, we'll save that for later. Anyway, back to the story. She is escorted to an exam room to put on a brain device.
Kathleen is next door, and she has the same cards as you. And we're gonna get her to choose one and see if you can tell us which one she chose. First card.
This is the game's tutorial for Aiden, the entity or soul that's attached to Jodie.
Very good, Jodie. Let's try something else. There's some building blocks on the table in the other room. You think you can make them fall over?
The scene teaches you Aiden's mechanics.
Good, Jodie. Anything else in the room you can move?
And how destructive he can be.
That's it. I'm sorry, but I'm done.
Okay, Jodie, honey, the experiment is over.
The door's locked! I'm
No,
telling
Kathleen,
you
it's not
locked.
locked. It's probably
Get me
just
out
stuck.
of
Give
here.
us a moment.
Get me out of here now!
Calm down, Kathleen. Go get the door. You have to stop now, Jodie.
The scene ends traumatically.
Jodie. It's over, Jodie. It's over. It's over.
It will never be over.
Alternatively, you could just not break anything and stop when they tell you.
Go get the door. You have to stop now, Jodie. The test is over. You need to stop.
Leave it, Aiden. Don't touch anything.
Okay, Jodie, honey, the experiment is over.
It will never be over.
I love that she still says that line. I actually never knew about this cutscene before. I was trying to record what would happen if you switch back to Jodie mid-rampage to see her freaking out, but I didn't know you could stop the rampage entirely and just end it peacefully. That's pretty cool. So those are the first two scenes in the original PS3 release of this game. From here, you play through the scenes in this timeline in a completely random order, but in the PS4 version, you have the option to play a remixed chronological version of this game that plays from beginning to end. Or so you would think. Even in the chronological remix, it still plays those first two scenes. Those aren't the first scenes in the timeline. I can understand why they keep the experiment scene in the beginning despite it not being the actual first scene in the timeline. It's a tutorial. It's there to teach the player how to control Aiden. Like, that has to be near the beginning. But the police station scene, while it is a really engaging intro, I feel like it would still work within its proper context halfway through the game. Like, it would still be just as impactful. Okay, so the actual first scene of the game takes place in Jodie's childhood bedroom. Wouldn't this also be a cool opening scene? Have this be the intro for the game. Anyway, it's Christmas time.
Hey, honey, you can't spend the whole day looking out the window. Why don't you find something to do?
From here you have free reign of the house to explore. I'll just play a montage of things that can happen.
Can I have a cookie?
It's almost dinner time, sweetheart. You eat a cookie now, you won't eat your dinner. Judy, what are you doing?
And how is your husband? He's good. He's working. Why, he's so handsome. Stop that, Aiden. I told you I didn't want to play with you anymore. No, Aiden. Mom is gonna be mad if we mess with her stuff.
Jody, honey, would you do me a favor? Could you get me a bottle of oil from the garage?
Sure, no problem.
Uh-oh, can Jody make it out of the garage in time before the door closes?
Hey, Jody, wanna play with us?
After that, she goes outside and plays some snowball.
Come on, hurry up and hide then. You're gonna get creamed. You're a dead little girl. I got you.
One of the kids gets a little carried away, and Aiden chokes him.
Did you see that? She nearly killed me.
What's going on here?
She's a witch. I'm telling you, Jody Holmes is a witch.
I didn't do anything. Aiden did it. He was trying to defend me. He thought...
I'm sick and tired of your stories! Jody, this time you're really gonna get it, and now! You go to your room. Now!
I'm afraid of the monsters, Mommy. They're gonna get me.
Honey, you know monsters don't exist.
Go away! I hate you! It's your fault my parents don't let me. You hear me? Go away!
You shouldn't get so angry with her, Philip. She's just a little girl.
Little girl, you've seen what you can do, right? Susan, that's no little girl. Susan, that's a monster.
Don't you dare talk about her like that.
The things that are happening around her, they're not normal, and they're getting stronger. For the love of God, Susan, what's to stop her from turning on us?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Susan, that thing is like an uncontrollable animal. We have no idea what it's capable of. Look, we have a demon living with us right under our own roof. Susan, this is gonna stop, and it's gonna stop now, before we end up crazy or dead. We agreed to look after a little girl, Susan, but not this. Not this.
This is one of my favorite aspects of this game, being in control of Aiden like I'm a floating camera watching a movie scene play out. It's so good. If there was a game called Cameraman Simulator where you play as a camera composing movie shots and angles, I would be all over that.
There's no reason to be scared, Aiden. We're going to sleep, and nothing is gonna happen.
And then the monsters immediately attacked her after she said that.
Jody, are you all right? Oh my God.
Sweetheart.
You told me monsters didn't exist. You were wrong, Mommy. You were wrong.
So Jodie's parents take her to a paranormal specialist.
Hello, Jodie. Come in. My name is Nathan. Nathan Dawkins. I thought it would be a good idea for us to have a little chat and get to know each other a little better. That's my wife, Helen, and my daughter, Laura. My daughter's about your age. That's a photo of a paranormal event I studied. That table moved 5 millimeters in 3 days, on its own. We filmed it and sped up the images so we could see the movement. Interesting, huh? Jodie, my job is to study strange events and then try to explain them. Like the things that happen around you, right, Jodie? Your mother tells me you have an invisible friend. This friend, has he been with you a long time? Since you were born? Is he a ghost? Or a spirit of someone who passed away?
This is odd that we're not allowed to say yes here. Like, we're not allowed to confirm that it is a ghost or someone who passed away. Gee, it's almost like they're keeping it a secret for a twist ending, except it's not really a twist, because what else would Aiden be?
So, this thing is your friend, and he's connected to you with some kind of cord. Is he here right now? Can you tell him to do something? You tell him what to do, and it happens.
I don't tell Aiden what to do. No one does. He's like a lion in a cage. We're tied together. He can't go away. That makes him really angry. It's not my fault. I want him to leave too. It can be really scary sometimes.
Did he do that to you?
No. That was the monsters.
This is another example of the original PS3 game's randomization of the timeline, creating a mysterious dramatic moment. Originally, this is the first mention of monsters, and it's supposed to be like a Vine Boom sound effect moment, like, what, there's monsters in this game? But because we saw the scene before this one, we know what caused those scars. So the parents decide to leave her at the facility to be examined.
It won't be for long. Just long enough for them to find out what's going on.
Please don't leave me here.
Just for a couple of days. You'll see, time will go by fast.
Susan, we need to go. There's no reason to drag this out.
I love how blunt the dad is in this scene. He's like, can we just leave already? This is a waste of time. Let's get out of here.
Jodie, I know it's hard leaving your home and your family. But here we have a better chance of understanding what's happening. We can find a way to protect you.
Nobody can protect me.
This was such a chilling scene when I saw this the first time, but I'll be honest, the remaster kind of botched it. Like, the piano cue was off time and the lighting is not as dramatic as the original.
But here we have a better chance of understanding what's happening. We can find a way to protect you.
Nobody can protect me.
It just does not hit the same for me. Remember that scene in the kitchen where Aiden can be a floating camera to eavesdrop on a conversation? There are multiple scenes like that.
No, Nathan, we can't take it anymore. First, there was the invisible friend she keeps talking to, right? And then there was stuff moving around the house by itself, and now these things that are attacking her in the middle of the night.
Philip, I know it's difficult, but
You don't understand. We're done. We quit. Hey, tell her we had to go away. I don't even really care, but there is no way she's coming back home with us. Okay, we want our normal life
just
back.
a child. You're the only family she's got. She needs you. You can't dump her just like that.
She'll get over it. But we are done pretending. Okay? Now you tell her, or I'll tell her.
Give me some time. Let me figure it out.
You don't take too long, Nathan. Come on, Susan.
Do you know when the attack started?
Her mother told me that they had been going on for months. At first, she thought they were nightmares and that she would get used to it. But then she realized there was more to it than that.
Marks on her body. Look like scratches or bites.
You see where these wounds are located? She couldn't have done this. And it doesn't look like child abuse. If she's telling the truth, maybe something is trying to kill her.
Or whatever the case, that's one brave little girl.
She's got a very interesting psychological profile for a kid her age, that's for sure.
You look beat. Why don't you go off to bed? I'll take first watch. Call you at 3 a.m.
Okay. Good night, Cole.
Good night, Nathan.
On one hand, I don't want to call this an Easter egg or a hidden secret, but on the other hand, nobody saw these scenes. I just think it's really awesome that these scenes are here. They add so much to the scene. It's like a deleted scene hidden in the game. Yeah, most people who play this scene don't even think to switch to Aiden. They just head straight for the pajamas. That one typo in Heavy Rain still kills me.
Don't be afraid, Aiden. We're gonna have a good night's sleep. And nothing is gonna happen.
She's gotta stop saying that. It's the monster activation phrase.
Get help, Aiden, quick!
Oh! What the...
Nathan, something's happening. Something's happening. Something's happening!
My God, Jody! Get a doctor! Hurry!
It's okay. It'll be alright now. Aiden isn't scared of them anymore.
And then of course you have the scene of the parents saying, "Goodbye forever, we're leaving you," and you have the option to choke the dad, give him a little squeeze.
He tried to kill me!
Oh, God, she's evil! You're a monster!
Alright, enough of that, bozo. So this is where the timeline gets a little tricky, because there are two more childhood scenes, but both the random order and the remix order save them to the end because those are supposed to be flashback scenes, because the information in both of those scenes are not relevant until the end of the game, so that's why they save them for flashbacks. So I'm going to follow the chronological remixed order and not talk about them until they're relevant. So Jody is now a teenager, and Nathan is dropping her off at a birthday party.
Listen, I'm not sure. Maybe I shouldn't go.
Don't forget your present. It's a book of poetry by Poe. It's 50 years old and very rare. I'm sure she'll like it.
Nathan, are you trying to get Jody locked under a staircase? Why would she like that?
Hey, Jody, right? Come on, we're in the living room. Some girls from my school and these dorky guys we could find. Oh, is that a present for me? Cool, thanks. Hey everyone, this is Jody. She's in Unit 4 with my mom.
Unit 4? The paranormal department?
Ooh, what you do there? Bend spoons or speak to dead people? Stuff like that?
No,
Woo! Party time! I'll get the beer. Guys, do the shutters. Girls, do the candles. And Jody, you can take care of the music. Let's get crazy!
Let's play some disco music.
What kind of garbage is that? Slide over. We'll put on something from this century. Something really popping.
Well, fuck you. I'm leaving the party. I don't want to be here.
Hid it under my bed for a week. That doesn't even...
Never mind, I'm back.
Jody, you want one?
Yeah, cool, sure.
Hey, don't choke on it.
I bet it's her first time.
No, I've had some before.
Of course you have.
Let's try dancing with the other girls here. And they all just leave. Finally, Jody's done dancing. Now we can go back to dancing. So then this guy Matt tries to strike up a conversation.
Hi, I'm Matt. Jody, right? I've never seen you at school before. You don't take classes on bass?
I'm in a different program with my own teacher.
Great. Because I sure do remember if I'd seen you around before. So you work with Kirsten's mother?
I've never met Kirsten before. Her mom works in my unit. That's why I was invited.
Can I ask you something? Why are you in Unit 4?
I have a gift. A link with an entity.
An entity? You mean a ghost or something like that?
Oh, this is gonna sound really crazy, but it's kind of like an invisible presence that follows me.
Is it here now?
I'd rather not talk about it.
I'm so stupid. I hope I haven't upset you or anything.
No, that's okay.
Slow dance. Are you up for it?
Sure.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna slow dance with this guy I just met.
You know, I'm sure you hear this all the time, but you're really pretty, you know.
Thanks.
You're not like other girls. I mean, there's something special about you.
I guess you could say that.
I'm not picking the mutual options. Those are straight out of a Disney Channel romantic movie trailer. I feel like this scene is such a turn your brain off moment, like, oh, the scene is leading toward a romantic kiss, might as well do that. I also want to appreciate the background song for this moment, it's so good.
Guys, why doesn't Jody give us a demonstration of her super mega powers?
No,
Great
no,
idea.
no,
I'd pay to see that.
Ugh, forget it. It's just a little bull. Yeah, come on, Jody. Show us what you can do.
Okay, Jody, you up for demonstration?
No. I don't have powers.
I told you so, guys. It's all bullshit. There. I saw something.
Stupid Emma, there's nothing.
Shit, man, what the hell was that?
The TV! Look at the TV! Wait, can you hear that? It sounds like a voice. Okay, I've had enough.
Yeah, me too.
That was really scary.
I didn't mean to frighten anyone. Sorry, you guys insisted and...
Right, okay guys, it's time to eat that delicious cake, and most important, to open my birthday gift.
Way to break the tension, Kirsten. You really brought us back to reality.
Love, Jen, XXX. Aw, that's nice, babe. I bet it's knee socks. A thong! Just exactly what I needed.
Now you can stop stealing your mom's.
And improve your chances of finding a decent boyfriend. My future lover wants to thank you for making his life more interesting.
What is that?
An old book. It smells funky.
It's a really rare collection. Poems by Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan who?
I'm sure she'll like it.
Did you steal this from your grandpa's library?
No, and it's really rare.
Yeah, just like your dress. No, seriously, is this a joke? I can't believe you came all the way to my birthday party just to give me this old crap. And she thinks she's so clever, but she's just a little lab rat.
A freaky little lab rat.
Yeah, she's been following me around like a puppy all evening, begging for it.
You sat next to her and introduced yourself. I guess the song in the background while we were talking was hinting at something.
You're no good for me. That's what you are. Bad boy.
We were subliminally told you were a bad boy.
Oh, and she's a slut too. I never wanted to invite her. My mom made me.
Yeah, she's a slut. A slut and a witch. We should, like, do something to her.
What do you do with witches? You burn them.
Get her!
Why would it show a shaking controller prompt if you can't break out of this scene? Like, that's what this is implying, right? If you shake the controller enough, you can break free and escape. But no, this is just here to have the player shake the controller if they feel like it, if they feel like they want to. They were like, yeah, this feels like a scene where the player should shake their controller. So after we get out of the stairs, 100% of every player who's ever played this game chooses revenge, so I'm gonna leave the house. What a great birthday party. I'm glad I came. Everyone really liked me. So because I did not burn the house down, you might notice something different in the next scene.
I said no. End of story.
Please, Nathan, just this once.
This is not what you remember Jodie looking like in this scene. You're thinking about the emo outfit. 76% of players never saw these clothes.
All the other girls in my class are going, and I won't be late. I promise, okay?
You're wasting your breath, Jodie.
It's just not fair. How come everyone can go and I can't? I do everything you ask of me all week, and I never get to have any fun!
For the 100th time, you're not like everyone else, and there are rules.
Well, I didn't ask to be different. I just want to go out and have friends and be like other girls my age.
You'll never be like them. You need to get used to that.
Good night.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack here. First of all, what happened between the birthday party and this scene? It seems like a significant amount of time has passed between these two moments. And also, who are Jodie's friends? The player does not know about them. Once again, this is the original game's randomization of the timeline messing with the story. See, originally, after the party, there's 7 random scenes before this scene, but on the timeline, they're right next to each other. In a story that was originally designed to be random vignettes of someone's life played out of order, these 2 scenes back-to-back is really odd. These are 2 completely different characters. We don't get to see how timid, socially awkward Jodie grew up to be rebellious teen Jodie that suddenly has friends to hang out with on a Saturday night. Okay, I'm done rambling. Here's a sick guitar solo. Anyway, Aiden possesses Cole, they both leave, Aiden leaves Cole in the woods.
Well, this is the place.
The girls must be inside already.
And Jody goes to a bar where her friends are not there, surprisingly. And by surprisingly, I mean, why did she think they would be here?
They're not here yet. We'll wait.
How old are you, miss?
I'm 21. I just want a lemonade. Yeah, I know. Nathan's gonna be pissed. It better be worth it.
It's not worth it, Jody. Let's eavesdrop on these guys.
How old do you think she is?
15, maybe 16. Now, what is she doing in here all on her own? I don't know. Maybe she's looking for our company. Shit, you know what? I think I'm taking a shine to that little hole. You're all talk, Earl. Finish your beer and shut the fuck up. Hey, don't tell me she ain't got you all hot under the collar, huh? She looking for you. Yeah, well, you sure gotta wonder what she's doing here this time of night. Look at that little piece of ass, man.
She's kind of pretty too, huh?
Come on, Earl. Knock it off.
Excuse me? Did some girls come in here earlier? I'm supposed to meet them.
No. I ain't seen nobody like that.
Thanks.
Well, my friends aren't here, and those guys are gonna sexually assault me. I'm leaving.
I told you not to go, and you disobeyed me. You know how dangerous that was for Cole and for you? Hell, Jody, don't you remember Kirsten's birthday party? You know what can happen with Aiden, right? Right?
Yeah, I know what can happen, Nathan. Aiden would have killed them. That's why I left the party.
I'm only trying to protect you.
I'm sorry. Just wanted to go out and be like everyone else for once.
I know, John. I know.
So those last two scenes, the birthday party and the escape to the bar, those have nothing to do with the rest of the story. Those were complete filler. You could take those out of the game entirely and lose nothing. But boy, did I sure talk about them for 13 minutes. In contrast, I don't have much to say about the next scene, the condenser, so I'll just give you the gist of it.
The DPA has launched a program to study the other side, the infraworld as they call it. They've created a condenser, machines to open a rift to what lies beyond. Entities got through the rift and we couldn't shut down the condenser. Everybody in the building was slaughtered. None of the rescue teams came back. They called and asked for your help. I told them you were just a child, that it was too dangerous. But they know only you know how to deal with what lies beyond the rift. Jody, the entities around the rift, they're not like Aiden. They're from the depths of the other side. We know almost nothing about them.
I've been living with an entity that I know nothing about since the day I was born.
Okay, who wrote that line? Who put that in the script? Who made Elliot Page say that? Excuse me, Mr. Cage. Can you not? Could you not do those two things anymore? Just stop it. So she goes in and it's like a horror movie. It gets real scary in here.
Passage to the other side. Another console. If I can get to it, we might still have a chance.
Gee, it sure looks like it's going to be difficult to get to that switch with all those monsters in there. Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, she just goes, I want...
Aiden? Aiden, are you there?
Aiden!
Oh no, did Aiden get sucked into the vortex? Oh, never mind, he's fine.
My God, I was so afraid I lost you.
Don't let them ever do that again. If they open a passage, there'll be nothing left.
Gee, I wonder if they're gonna do it again. Sometime later, they're doing another experiment with Aiden's powers.
Tell me if you feel anything in particular about any of these objects.
Can you see anything, Aiden?
Thank you, Dad. It's so pretty.
Open it.
I saw a little girl. It was her music box.
Laura.
Yeah. Nathan? Okay, I'll tell him. Nathan, someone named Ryan Clayton is here to see you. He says you know what it's about.
Yes. I'll be back in a moment.
Ooh, another Aiden eavesdrop opportunity.
Listen. I never got around to telling her I need more time.
No. Professor Dawkins, she needs to come with me today. I have my orders.
Christ, she's only a child. My assistant and I are the only family she's got. She doesn't have any idea what's out there.
Look, Dawkins, I see your side of it. All right, I do. But orders are orders, right? You gonna bring her to me, or do I have to go and get her?
What's going on, Nathan? You look upset.
Jody, this is Ryan Clayton from the CIA. The agency wants you to join their military school program at Camp Perry. Ryan's going to take care of you from now on. You have to go with him, Jody. Today.
I don't understand. Why me?
This unit belongs to the CIA. They've been tracking your case ever since you arrived. They know what you and Aiden can do.
I am not a child. I can make my own decisions. No one can force me to go.
Hey, Jody, I know. It's difficult, but you need to understand this is a great opportunity for you.
Oh, so that's just it? You know what's best, and I'm just supposed to shut up and obey orders?
Jesus, listen up, Miss Holmes. I don't give a shit about your pathetic adolescent pouting, all right? You can rant and rave all you want, but you'll shut your mouth and do as you're told.
Go fuck yourself.
These two are going to be making out within like 20 minutes. We're supposed to forget this interaction after it's over because David Cage is a good writer. Okay, time to pack up for CIA camp. Ooh, a photo of my mom and dad. Rip that shit, get it out of here. Now a photo of Nathan and Cole. Absolutely bring that, that's sentimental. And this is a really sad goodbye scene that goes on for 75 seconds. Let's wrap it up! So we're at the CIA. This is where the game mechanics get a little divisive. This is where the game teaches you its version of combat and dodging attacks. It's a little unorthodox, to say the least.
It's your room. This is where you'll study and sleep for the next 3 years. Your training starts tomorrow at 5 a.m. Don't be late.
See how this works is when you're in an action scene and it goes all slow motion and sepia tone, you're supposed to intuitively read your character's movement direction on the screen and move the right stick in that direction. I always thought this was a unique interpretation of QTE fighting. Instead of just outright telling you what direction to move the stick, you just look at the direction Jody is moving in slow motion and just follow that movement. Of course, you could just change the difficulty to say you rarely or never play video games and have the direction prompts more on screen. But I don't need that accessibility feature nonsense. I can tell what direction the game wants me to move the stick in. I followed the tutorial.
Take cover. Aim. Shoot. Advance to the next cover. Got it?
Fun fact, this was the gameplay prototype of Marcus battling for Detroit. I made that up, but I'm probably at least some % right about that.
Move it, recruit! It's not a fucking Sunday stroll!
Wait, what? I was under the impression that I was recruited by the CIA and brought out here for a nice Sunday stroll. What am I doing here? Oh man, one of these days I'm going to abandon the CIA and be wanted for treason. This is bullshit. Anyway, the montage ends with a fun cover shooter segment. I love that this text is actually part of the environment, like physically. Like you can just float through it.
Not bad, Jody. But if this wasn't an exercise, you'd be dead by now.
If this wasn't an exercise, you wouldn't even be able to open your big mouth, Ryan.
Congratulations, Operative Holmes. You made it. Welcome to the agency.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Jody. Welcome to the agency.
Looks like you made it, Jody. Congratulations.
In the next scene, we're doing an undercover espionage mission. This seems like a natural story progression from the previous 2 chapters, but the crazy thing about this scene is in the original Random Timeline PS3 game, this is the first scene you play after the Aiden tutorial. So including the prologue, this is the 4th scene in the game. They just throw you into this scenario with no context. You have no idea where you are, what's going on, who is this guy.
Who are these people?
Diplomats, politicians, businessmen, spies. It's the usual embassy crowd.
What do I do if something goes wrong?
There won't be anything you can do.
That's what I suspected. Just checking.
But most important thing, act natural. If anyone speaks to you, you just smile.
So do you want me to act natural, or do you want me to smile?
That's so funny. That is a funny bit of dialogue right there. David, did you write that? I don't know if you did, but the internet does not want to give you any credit for anything that's good in your game, so whoever anonymously wrote that line, good for you, that was funny.
I didn't know you had a sense of humor.
Only when I'm scared to death.
Ryan, I'm delighted you could attend.
Always a pleasure, Sheikh Ahmed. I would like you to meet my assistant, Elizabeth.
I was unaware that American diplomacy was undertaken with such disarming charm. The pleasure is mine, Elizabeth.
Gentlemen, I give you back your host. We'll talk later, Ahmed.
Until then, Ryan.
He hates me. The whole time he was imagining my head on a stick. I think he found you charming.
I should be flattered.
Okay, I'm gonna shake some hands, blend in, find somewhere quiet. You know what you have to do. Ambassador, you're a sight for sore eyes.
There's a large painting in one of the rooms upstairs. Behind it is a safe. The documents we're looking for are inside. But there are guards and cameras, so you have to be careful. You got it? Hurry, Aiden. It hurts like hell when you're too far away.
That girl, isn't she a little unusual for an agent?
More than you think.
I don't know how she's going to go about it, but she'd better be discreet. If they catch her, they'll torture her for weeks, and I won't be able to help.
She knows the risks.
Are you always this cold and insensitive, Ryan?
I think in my line of work, it's important to have limited empathy.
Now, obviously, the optimal strategy is to possess the Sheik character here in the lobby because he has access to everything. What do you mean no one did that? Who's playing this game?
Okay, now don't move.
هل من أحد هناك؟ الرجاء الخروج من هناك على الفور.
ولكن ماذا تفعل هنا؟ إنها مراهد السيدات. انصرف من هنا أيها المنحرف.
I will never understand why they didn't subtitle the non-English language, as if it doesn't matter what they're saying here.
Sorry, I can't do anything to help you. Good luck.
The game never explains or follows up on this encounter and expects you to forget it as soon as the chapter is over. David Cage, once again, you have to stop doing those two things.
Jodie, all right?
Don't touch me! I want to go now.
Right. Yeah, we're leaving.
Yeah, so nothing in this scene matters. We cut to Jodie in her apartment. Yeah, she has an apartment now. She gets a call from Ryan.
Yeah?
Jodie. Hey, it's Ryan.
Ryan.
I was just wondering if you got my email.
What email?
The one I sent 3 days ago.
You know, I've actually been having problems with my computer. What was the email about?
Dinner, tonight, fancy restaurant. Anyway, it's too late now, so maybe another time?
Shit, I'm so sorry. You know, why don't you just come over here for dinner tonight? I mean, you wanted to see my apartment anyway, so...
Sure, but
How about around 8?
Okay. Yeah, I'll bring a kick-ass bottle of wine. See you later.
I realize I could have made this video a lot shorter by verbally summarizing a lot of these scenes instead of just playing them mostly unedited, but I feel like it's important to have full context.
Now I get why you blasted my computer. You didn't want me to see Ryan. It's not your call, Aiden. I can do what I want. Fuck this. Fuck this! We're not gonna start this again! I'm not yours, Aiden! I can have a relationship with whoever I want. This is my life. Okay, do you fucking hear me? This is my life. You know what? I happen to think Ryan is great. Right? He's charming, he's intelligent, he's funny.
He told me to shut my mouth and do as I'm told, and I told him go fuck yourself. He's so dreamy, Aiden, what don't you understand?
And I think I'm falling for him.
What makes this even weirder is in the original Random Order timeline, this chapter is right after that one. We just immediately cut from go fuck yourself to I think he's great. And the two chapters that were between those two, the CIA montage and the embassy mission, those didn't exactly build up the relationship between them. Hell, even in the embassy mission, Aiden overheard Ryan be like, oh, if Jodie gets caught here, oh well. Shit happens, she knew the risks, I have limited empathy. You know, for a game that's essentially a biopic of this girl's life, there sure are huge chunks of her life missing from this that the player should know about. But wait, remember the prologue? Her memories are all mixed up in her head, there's gonna be scenes missing, you're supposed to fill in the blanks. Okay, but Jodie falling in love with her CIA mentor is a pretty big blank for the player to fill in. Okay, I know technically this dinner is a first date for them, but this dialogue implies that there's somewhat of a history between them that led to this moment. Like, if you're gonna make this couple work, at least make it believable.
It's 7 o'clock. I have an hour to make dinner, tidy up, and make myself look good. All right, dirty clothes in the basket in the bathroom. All right, there.
So Jodie cleans up the place and Aiden messes with her. Such wacky hijinks.
Come on, Aiden, don't be a pain in the ass.
Now to decide what to make for dinner.
Gotta find something I can make in 1 hour with what's ever left in the fridge. Yeah, chicken curry? A little down-home flavor? A little down-home flavor? I mean, he's gonna love that. I mean, as long as I don't fuck it up.
Fuck it up, Kenneth! Kenneth, fuck it up! Fuck it up, Kenneth!
Thanks, Aiden. Ginger. It's supposed to be an aphrodisiac. I mean, it's not in the recipe, but it can't hurt. I mean, I need all the help I can get. Into the oven we go. Crap. Crap, he's early. I'm coming! You know, you're wasting your time, Aiden. You're not gonna stop me from seeing Ryan.
For the shower scene, Elliot Page was like, hey, if you're gonna have my nude model in this game, you cannot show my boobs on screen. You did that for Madison and Heavy Rain, but I'm an actual Hollywood celebrity. You cannot show my boobs here. I will sue you if you try that.
Christ, Aiden. Look, you just don't get it.
Well, that's creepy and possessive as hell. Let's put on some clothes.
What should I wear? Oh, hello, Ryan. Oh, do you like it? Classic, elegant, a je ne sais quoi. I don't want to give them the wrong idea. Oh. Oh, hi, Ryan. I've been waiting for you.
This is another thing I don't understand about this game. What is so sexy about a button-down white shirt that you would wear for a job interview? Is it supposed to be like a sexy office outfit, like they're gonna roleplay or something? Is it one of those shirts you can see through if it gets wet or it's in the right lighting? I'm way overthinking this, so I picked the cool outfit.
Oh, hey, Ryan. Yeah, whatever. I just, threw these old things on, because, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna be me. I mean, there's no point in me throwing myself at the guy. You might as well just give up, Aiden. Okay? This date is going on. Period. I didn't behave yourself. This is important to me, and I'm counting on you.
Chateau Margaux, 2001. The guy in the store said it was a pretty good year.
That sounds good to me. So. Why don't you sit? I'll get the thing that opens the wine.
Cool apartment.
Huh? Yeah, thanks. Aiden, for fuck's sakes.
To your new apartment.
To my new apartment.
Cut. Jody, your face capture bugged out. We have to retake that.
To my new apartment.
Oh, so when did you move in?
So here when you're controlling Aiden, you have the option to toss stuff around and mess up their date, but that would be really rude, so I'm gonna not do that.
Yeah, did Nathan ever manage to explain to you why you have this link with Aiden?
No. I mean, not really. I mean, they learned a lot of stuff about the infra world. Really not much about Aiden. I mean, I don't think even he knows who or what he is.
It's like, is he here now, listening to us?
Yeah. Yeah, he never leaves me. And are you married or anything?
Jody, why would you ask that on a first date? If he was married, he would be cheating on his wife right now. This is a messed up question.
No. Wait. Yes, I mean, I was. You know, my ex-wife and I have been separated for 2 years. And, yeah, it couldn't work. I mean, in the end, it didn't. You know, we had our good times, but eventually we decided to go our separate ways. How about you? Anyone on your radar?
Aiden kind of has always made people run away. Or maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just too odd for anyone to be interested in.
You're special, Jody. Aiden's got nothing to do with this.
I'm sorry.
No, I thought you...
No, it's not. It's... it's my fault. I can't.
I better go.
Are you happy, Aiden? You got what you wanted. Yeah, I know it's not your fault. I completely freaked out. He's gonna think I'm an idiot. I am such a fucking idiot. You know, you were right. Maybe he's just not my type. I wonder if anyone is. I've always got you, Aiden, right?
Okay, that was the most depressing shit I've ever seen. I'm going back to kiss him. Jody deserves happiness. Yeah, you two lovebirds keep making out. I'll just be over here, giving you privacy.
Hey, Aiden. Thank you.
Now you might be wondering why only 28% of players slept with Ryan. Did the other 72% just reject him? Here's the twist. This actually ties back to the like other girls scene in the bar. Because nobody thinks they can leave the bar, Jodie gets sexually assaulted, which traumatizes her real bad. So by the time she's ready to have sex with Ryan, this happens.
Stop. Stop.
Jodie, what's the matter?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. There's some things that I can't forget.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I better go.
I imagine this is the scene that 72% of players who didn't sleep with Ryan ended up seeing. As far as I know, this is the only part of the game where a choice you made in a previous chapter has a consequence in a later chapter. You might have noticed that since we're following a predetermined biographical timeline, the story is completely linear with no branching paths. Compare this to other Quantic Dream games, Too Much Rain and Detroit Bacon Hummus. Those games have multiple different endings depending on your choices. In Banana Two Souls, the only choice you have that has any impact on the story is right at the end. And it's whether you live or die. Up until that point, you're just playing a completely linear story that you have no effect on whatsoever. When people say narrative story-driven games are just playable movies, this is the peak example of that. Anyway, let's go assassinate the Somalian president.
Jamal Sheikh Sharif, one of the most dangerous warlords in the country.
Oh wait, never mind, he's a dangerous warlord. Let's forget I said that.
He commands a heavily armed militia, using it to control several important districts in the city, which means none of our humanitarian aid is getting through. You have to find Jamal and eliminate him. Now, he relocates twice a day. Last time we pinpointed him was at the Zanaki Hotel, which is right here. Not much of a chance he's still there, but it's as good a place as any to start looking. You'll be on your own this mission. No direct engagement with the enemy, no backup. You identify and eliminate your target, then activate your GPS beacon so we can extract you. We need to get you out before sunrise, so don't waste any time.
I'll be back before they even realize what's happened. Don't worry. I'll be fine.
Good luck, Jodie.
No direct engagement with the enemy, no backup. Last time we pinpointed him was at the Zanaki Hotel, which is right here.
See if you find anything. Great. Now let's go.
I don't have much to say about this chapter. This is just pretty decent stealth action gameplay.
لا أقسم انتبه
I don't need that accessibility feature nonsense. I can tell what direction the game wants me to move the stick in. I followed the tutorial.
The Zanaki Hotel.
So we make our way to the Zanaki Hotel.
They've gone.
Jamal's not here. Let's check out the cathedral. Huh. This dangerous warlord seems pretty presidential. We might be committing a war crime.
I know where they are.
Oh no, a child has been shot in the leg. Let's heal that. Yeah, Aiden can heal wounds. I forgot to mention that.
أحس بالآلام. لم أعود أحس بالآلام.
And again with the no subtitles for a non-English language. If this kid is gonna be my companion for this chapter, I want to understand what he's saying.
Sorry, I don't understand a word you're saying.
Salim. Salim.
Your name is Salim.
Salim.
Jody. I'm Jody.
Jody?
Yeah, Jody.
Jody. I need you now.
مهلا.
Come on. We gotta get out of here before more show up.
Elan بخير؟ هل هو سبتي؟
It's okay. It's okay. I'm alright. We make a damn good team, don't we, Salim?
They absolutely wrote that line in because it rhymed. I'm giving David Cage full credit for that.
The sun is rising. It's gonna make it tough to not be seen now.
I guess the CIA did not need to pull her out of there before sunrise. She's just gonna keep going. She's on a mission.
The tower. The tower's over there.
هل تريدين الذهاب هناك؟ إلى برج الشباب.
That's where I need to go.
أستطيع تعبكين تيتي. تعالي اتبعيني.
What have I got to lose?
Okay, I guess whenever Salim talks, we're just supposed to guess what he's saying. At least he mimed it out, like, come this way. Why is this here? Why is there a hold X prompt for me to look at a man grieving over a dead loved one? What was the expected reaction here? I hold X and bam, instant heartbreak. It's like a jump scare for sadness. Alright, we're hiding in the back of the truck here. Gotta get past the checkpoint, put on sunglasses.
حسن ماذا بك؟ هل أصبحت أطرش؟ أنا أكلمك.
Why does no one put on the sunglasses? Why does everyone just immediately hold R2, go through a choreographed QTE fight sequence that ends in a rocket launcher flipping the truck over and exploding? How did they survive that?
You know what you have to do. Find Jamal, Aiden.
So after all of that, we finally find Jamal Sheikh Sheriff.
I won't be able to get close enough. You're gonna have to do it, Aiden.
ونطار استعادة النظام.
أنا متأكد أن المناطق الجنوبية ستفقد صالح. إنما يقلقني هي المناطق الشمالية.
يجب أن نرى
Shit! What's he doing? If he stays outside, he should be alright.
أهلا سمير، إلى أين أنت ذاهب؟
Obviously, possessing a guy with a gun to walk in and shoot them all won't work. You have to possess a guy with sunglasses and a gun to walk in and shoot them all. They trust the sunglasses.
Salim?
أبي أبي لا تموت يا أبي أنا بحاجة إليك لا تتركني لا تتركني.
He's your father?
Oh, damn it, we accidentally killed Salim's father. Aiden, protect me from this kid's bullets.
لقد قتلت أبي لقد قتلت أبي أنا أكرهك أنا أكرهك.
So, after that, we walk out, get shot in the leg, take shelter, climb to the roof, and the CIA pulls us out of there.
"10 years in the CIA. Never seen anything like it. Boss sends his own private helicopter to get an agent back. All the top brass are crazy about you, Jody. You and Aiden, of course.
This is a different helicopter than the one we left in. We're wearing different clothes.
Jody.
I feel like we missed a scene
Okay.
here.
I know this one was tough, but it's over. Going home. Just another mission accomplished, right?
I'll never forget what I saw back there, Ryan.
And the international community had just announced its official recognition of the election of the new president, Jamal Sheikh Sharif.
Jamal Sheikh Sharif, one of the most dangerous warlords in the country.
And now, sources report that he and all his government were assassinated in what appears to be an unclaimed attack.
You have to find Jamal and eliminate him.
Hopes were high that the newly recognized President Jamal Sharif would be able to put an end to the hostilities that have ravaged his country for many years. A number of world leaders have already expressed outrage at what appears to be nothing less than a cold-blooded execution.
You have to find Jamal and eliminate him.
لماذا فعلت ذلك؟ فكرت أنك صديقتي.
You lied to me.
What are you talking about?
Jamal wasn't a warlord. He was the president. He was the democratically elected president.
Your point? We're not politicians. We had our orders.
You knew I wouldn't have murdered him. So you lied to me.
Welcome to the CIA, Jody. It's not fucking choir practice in case you haven't noticed.
Damn it, I really thought the CIA was choir practice. I've been fooled again. Here's a list of things the CIA is not. Not a fucking Sunday stroll, not fucking choir practice.
You manipulated me. You used me to do your dirty work.
What difference does it make? Jody, he was a dead man walking with or without you.
I have blood on my hands. Some kid lost his father because of me. Because I trusted you. Because I trusted we were doing the right thing. What am I, Ryan? A toy? Some fucking puppet that you can just do whatever you want with?
We're getting massive turbulence.
Fuck!
I can't control it.
Did you also lie to me that night in my apartment?
Jody, for God's sake, you're gonna kill us.
No one's ever gonna lie to me again, Ryan.
Jody! Fuck!
You can't run away from them. They'll hunt you down and they'll find you. You've got to come in, Jody. We'll talk. I'm sure that...
It's over, Nathan. Through being a toy. You tell them that if they try to find me, I'll kill them.
Jody, listen.
Tell them, Nathan.
This story feels like it's trapped in the video game medium but wants to be a movie or TV show. Like, it's too long to be a movie unless you cut out a lot of it, but the episodic nature would work as a TV show. If this game was a series, what streaming service would it be on? Comment down below. Moving on, I have nothing to say about the Hunted chapter. It's a great action sequence. 3 days after she escapes from the CIA, we see her asleep on a train. Oh no, the police are gonna search the train.
All police in the state. Just to get one girl? It's been pretty important to make such a fuss. Came from the top. Highest priority. She's CIA on the run. Wanted for treason. At least that's what I heard. Biggest manhunt I ever seen. She ain't gonna get very far.
Ma'am, return to your seat, please.
Shit! That's her! That's her!
So she runs out of the train, goes up to the roof of the train, fights the police on the train, jumps off the train. Gets attacked by police dogs, climb the cliff.
See anything? Nothing but rock. Man, she'd never be able to make it up there. Shit! We must have missed her. Travis, bring back those goddamn dogs!
Steal the motorcycle, torpedo through the barricade.
You're surrounded. Come out with your hands up and you will not be harmed.
If they're looking for trouble, that's what they're gonna get. Take care of them, Aiden.
Possess this guy, throw the grenade at the gas station.
I don't want to die here.
Possess the guy in the helicopter, crash the helicopter.
Tell them to leave me the fuck alone, because next time, I'll kill everyone.
What a badass quote for the trailer. Buy the video game that has 2 recognizable movie actors in it.
Come on, Aiden. I think they get the message.
Okay, I speed ran through this chapter because understandably it's a fast-paced scene. But now it's time to be homeless in the iconic Beyond Two Souls chapter. Homeless. They showed this at the Tribeca Film Festival. That's how much of a movie this game is. So she calls Nathan.
Hello?
Nathan?
Jody. Jody, where are you?
They're back. They're all around me.
Good God, Jody, what's happening?
I'm tired. I'm so tired. I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Tell me where you are. I'll come right now, Jody. Jody!
She just called him to say, I'm homeless and on the verge of death, and then hangs up.
And then I passed out in the snow.
Monsters surrounding her. Hey, other homeless guy, can you help out?
Where am I?
You're in my place, kid.
You've been taking care of me?
Ah, come on, somebody had to. I couldn't leave you lying there, dying like a dog in the street. Understand. What's your name?
Jody.
Welcome back to the land of living, Jody. How long you been on the streets, kid?
A few weeks? Something like that.
About 3 years for me. You on the run? Parents? Crazy boyfriend, something like that?
No, nothing like that.
Problems with the law, huh? Nah, it's none like I got that business. As long as you ain't killed somebody, it's fine by me.
Does it count if a ghost killed them? I didn't personally kill them with my own hands. It was a supernatural force beyond my control.
Do you know the others?
That's Walter over there. Alright, he drinks a little bit too much, but he's a good guy. And that's Jimmy. Better to clear of him when he can't get a fix. And the girl? It's Tuesday. She's pregnant. Poor kid. You got the jitters. You on drugs?
No. It's not what you think. It's hard to explain.
Well, then don't explain. Save it. But I gotta tell you, I ain't got no dope and I want nothing to do with that shit. You got it?
I don't do drugs. Okay, that's the truth.
That reaction face is priceless. Anyway, Jody tries to end it all and Aiden's like, nuh-uh. No suicide on my watch.
Leave me alone. We've been running for weeks, and for what? I have no home, no money, no food. My life is a fucking disaster.
I know this is a serious scene, but I want to point something out. In the original Random Order timeline, you play this scene before the assassination mission that makes her leave the CIA. So you play this whole scene not knowing why she's homeless or suicidal. It's just a big mystery you're not supposed to know until they reveal it later. Having zero context for an emotional breakdown scene is a failure of game design.
I give up.
We got nothing left to eat. Gotta do something about it. You wanna see how things work around here?
Sure.
Oh boy, time to explore the environment to try to find money for food. Homeless Simulator 2013.
Hey, baby. You looking for a few extra dollars? Maybe I can help you out.
What do I have to do?
I figure I'll do you a favor. You do me a favor. $10 says you come around the back with me.
I'm not that desperate, asshole. You can take your $10 and stick it.
Perhaps we can steal from this ATM.
You can't take that money, Aiden. I'm no thief.
Yeah, let's just leave that money out for someone else to steal.
Is that your guitar?
Yep. Just about froze my fingers off trying to play it before. You want to try? Be my guest.
Sorry eyes, they cut through the bone, make it hard to leave you alone. They leave you here, wearing your wounds, waving your guns at somebody new. Oh, baby, you're lost. Baby, you're lost. Baby, you're lost cause tired of fighting, yeah. Tired of fighting. Fighting for a lost cause.
Holy sh! Jody, where did you get all that cash?
I found it. There was a guy with a guitar, and I play guitar. I mean, I made it. I made a few bucks.
Oh wow, that's something. That's really something. Stay right here. I'm gonna go get us some food.
What you got there, old man? Looky here. You win the lottery, lucky son of a bitch?
I don't want any trouble.
Trouble? Trouble? That is disrespectful, old man. We look like trouble.
He's saying we look like
Come
trouble.
on, guys.
Filming this ad?
Yeah, I'm on it, man.
I mean, you approached him with bats and a video camera like you're gonna beat him up for a video. That's a bit troubling.
Back off, and you won't get hurt.
Looky here.
Looks like Bum's got a girlfriend. Rolling Ed, let's demonstrate how we deal with skanky, low-life bitches. Fuck! The bitch is crazy! See you later, bitch. I'm out of here!
How did you do that?
I learned how to fight in the army.
Yeah, but there was 4 of them. Is one of you?
4 assholes. I did not know how to fight. Let's get out of here before they come back.
All right.
Running on empty. Clean out of
Come on,
juice.
Jody. Help yourself. Hey, I even got a bit of chocolate for dessert.
Chocolate? I don't reckon I even remember what that tastes like. What happened to you, Stan?
I got in a fight. If it wasn't for Jody, I'd still be lying there. Should have seen it. There were 4 guys. Jody kicked herself some ass.
Here you have the option to learn these characters' backstories. Should I include that in the video? Is that a waste of time? Did I really just ask that question an hour and a half into the video? This whole video is a waste of time. Why did I make this video? No one gives a shit!
When is your baby due?
Next month. She hasn't been kicking for days. I hope she's alright.
Boyfriend used to beat her up.
He didn't want a baby. You probably would have killed her.
Tuesday. Do you want to know how your baby is? Give me your hands. Don't worry about your baby. Everything's all right.
No.
I know. I saw her. Tuesday? Is it?
She's got contractions.
We need an ambulance. We need a whole goddamn hospital. We ain't got nothing here. Ain't got as much as a blanket, hot water. We got nothing.
All right, Jimmy. Down the road a ways, there's this old abandoned building. Figure out a way inside. On my way, go. Walter, you sit down, you stay here with Tuesday, okay? Jody, come on. We gotta go get everything we need. Now, you girl, don't be having no baby till we get back, all right?
Oh yeah, sure, she can just hold the baby in until we're all prepared for it, no big deal.
Oh, there you are. Hurry! Her water broke!
Did you get into the building I told you about?
Yeah, Walter's there with her. Come on, we need to hurry!
Just in time, guys. Seems like it's gonna be any minute now.
Now what? Anybody know what to do?
Leave! All of you. Except Jody. I just want Jody.
Okay, don't worry. Don't worry, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. I mean, how hard can it be?
Man, this is a fucking video game. If I've ever seen it.
You wanted tank controls? Here you go. Now you got them.
Oh, man.
No camera movement going on here.
Come on, Pat. This is your job. This is your job.
Just looking around.
Act professional.
Looking for someone else.
Act professional.
No one's gonna save you.
It's a girl. Her name's Zoe.
Shit, man. She's goddamn amazing.
That's a hilarious reaction to seeing a baby.
You're married, Jody. Our marriage.
What a beautiful, tender moment. Oh no, the building's on fire. Get everybody out of there.
How's Zoe?
Good. She's good.
How did the damn fire start?
Spectacular, huh, guys? A little gas and a lighter, and the roaches pour out of the nest. Fucking hate happy endings. So be seeing you again, bitch.
Hey, leave her alone!
Calm down, cockroaches. Such a hero now, are you?
Launched a program to study the other side.
You can take care of
Am I dead?
I love this visual so much. The black void, the wet floor, the TV screen, it's so good.
Wait, my child. Let me see her. Just one, but she's my baby. Bring her back. I've changed my mind. I want my baby.
Sedate her quickly.
Please.
Get the baby out of here.
See her. Please let me see her. I want my child. Please let me see her.
That scene is very effective at making me uncomfortable. I hate it.
Who was that woman? Why are you showing me this? Is she my mother? Aiden?
No! I don't want to go back! I want to stay with you, Aiden! Aiden! No!
Aiden? He didn't want to come back.
God, this would have been a good movie if it wasn't 5 hours long.
You got the job. Rented a small apartment. I'm doing okay.
I became an FBI agent, Jody. Everything's great.
I miss you, Jody. We really miss you.
Now that I look like 11 from Stranger Things, I gotta get out of here.
Skull fractures. She's been in a coma for several months.
Can we see her? We're with the CIA. This girl is wanted for treason, so we have an arrest warrant if that's what you need.
Okay, this was a lighting bug when I recorded it. The scene doesn't usually look this bad. It's usually like this. And the PS3 version looks 10 times better. How did they ruin it?
Shit.
She went out the window.
That's impossible. We're on the 5th floor. She couldn't go out the window.
Call it in. That girl cannot get away. Ma'am? Is everything all right?
And this ties us back to the intro hook scene at the beginning of the game. Play it again.
I found you by the side of the road, in the middle of nowhere.
Never mind, don't play it again. We already saw it. Okay, who the hell is not helping the homeless after dinner? Who is not reassuring Tuesday about her baby, healing Jimmy's sickness, reconnecting Stan with his dead wife? Who's not doing that? I thought everyone did that. Oh boy, it's the Navajo chapter. The longest one in the game. This is another filler chapter they could have taken out that could have been its own short film by itself. If it was rewritten to be a short film. Sometime later, Jodie is still homeless and on the run, but we've moved on from the harsh winter city to the blazing desert heat.
Everything's gonna be okay. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm dying of thirst. And everything's fucked. But it's gonna be okay. Leave me alone, Aiden. What? It's okay, Aiden. There's no reason to be nervous.
What's your name?
Jodie.
I'm Paul. These are my sons, Corey and Jay. My mother, Shimasani. Don't be surprised if she doesn't answer you. She hasn't spoken in years. It's late. Jay will, show you to your room. Good night.
Are you coming? You stay in your room. No matter what you hear.
What I hear? What do you mean?
You value your life? Lock your door and don't come out until the morning.
Let's check outside. What are they so scared of?
What are you doing here? I told you to stay in your room!
What the hell was that?
Go back to bed. You can leave in the morning.
Well, darn it. I was gonna leave in the morning, but now that I saw a ghost, I have to stay here to solve the mystery.
There's a lot of work to be done on the farm. Maybe you'd like to stay on for a few days. Lend a helping hand.
This is beautiful. Did you make this yourself?
Can you get some hay from the barn?
If you look in the back of the barn, there's an ultra-rare dirt bike. Nobody found it.
Holy shit, an antique. This has got to be like 40 or 50 years old. Good job.
Have a seat.
Thanks. You know, when I opened the door last night, I saw something. Pretty sure someone was outside.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's probably a dream.
I saw the dead sheep. What happened to them?
A storm. They wander out of the pen and choke to death on the sand. Do you always ask so many questions?
When I don't understand something, yeah.
Yeah? How about if I started asking you questions? Where you come from? What you're doing here? You probably wouldn't like it, huh? So keep your secrets to yourself. And don't ask any more questions.
This chapter ends with the option to kiss this guy. Why does this game keep giving me the option to get into relationships with guys who talk down to me? I'm kink-shaming this game right now. Anyway, I gotta possess this horse.
Take him to the enclosure.
How'd you do that?
We all have our secrets, right?
Maybe I misjudged you.
What's happening here? Why do we have to lock up the house?
Just go to your room, Jody. And don't come out, no matter what happens. You remember the sheep last night? I don't want anything to happen to you.
God, for God's sakes, Paul. What's going on here?
Just go to your room. There's nothing you can do.
So the reason everyone is scared is because a giant ghost demon is terrorizing their house and wants to kill them, but their Navajo ancestors ward it off every night.
It's Yaitzo. He wants blood. That's all he's interested in. We can't do anything about it. We can't fight his spirit.
Spirits don't live in this world. If he's here, there's a reason.
The next day, Jody and Jay have a conversation basically recapping what I just said. Just want to make it clear, this is the only one-on-one conversation these two characters have. Alright, time to follow the mystery trail. Go into this hut, walk out of it, everything's on fire. Crown. Look at this big open world you can run around in with nothing in it. So we go to Fort Crown, which leads us to the Forked Tree, which shows us the ritual with 5 talismans that summoned Yaitzo here, but we can only find 4. Where's the 5th one? Oh god, we have to get back to the ranch, quick!
We came here in broad daylight. We tried to get to the house. Corey, get the car! Come on, start already, goddammit! It won't start, Jay! It won't start!
Oh, the entity's coming back.
We've got to get to the house.
I don't think that's gonna help.
There's nothing else we can do. My father told you can't fight a spirit.
This is another choice nobody knows they can do. They can heal Paul so he won't die.
The rest is up to you. This blanket. It's the one that was on that baby.
Mother gave it to me. Like her mother before. She also gave me this.
The 5th talisman. Your ancestors. They summoned Yaitzo here.
They were lost, full of hatred for the white man. They bring spirit to kill their enemies and gain revenge. He turned against them. He was still hungry for blood. Yaitzo is back. He has come to take our lives.
Jay, could you stop hammering the window for a second? I'm having an important conversation with your grandmother.
We're your ancestors. They're the guardians who protect the house, right?
They know they were robbed. They returned to protect us from the evil that they released.
If they brought the entity here, I mean, there's gotta be some way to send it back to its own world.
They used a ritual to open the passage. I still remember the incantation, but the ritual is lost in the past.
I saw the ritual in my vision. I'll prepare it and you can help me with the incantation.
Hurry! He's coming.
Alright, I gotta prepare the ritual. Start a fire.
Jody, what the hell?
Trust me! I know what I'm doing!
We gotta get inside! The storm is coming!
Even me, Jay!
Shimusani, you can talk?
Oh god, what symbol was it? Was it the sideways Whataburger?
Now each of you needs to stand next to a talisman. There must be a soul attached to each one. There's only 4 of us and 5 talismans. We need a 5th soul to complete the ritual.
This is crazy, Jody! We're all gonna die if we don't go inside right now!
Aiden, quick, drag Paul out here. We need a 5th soul.
That's it.
That works too.
Shibasani, start the incantation now. The passage is open, Jody. You did it. You did it.
So we push the demon back to hell and we all live happily ever after.
Shibasani!
Never mind. After we bury Shimasani, we're led to a cave. Jody and Aiden were part of the prophecy all along. Not the Indigo one, this is different. Time to say farewell to the Navajo Ranch. Why would I kiss him? We had one conversation, and then I dirt bike away. Shimasani, what are you doing here? You're dead. If that's supposed to be her ghost, why didn't they make her look like a ghost? Bring the opacity down 50%, make her see-through. It just looks like she's still alive. It's even more confusing if you don't save Paul, because then they both just show up like they're alive. So Jody took some time to grow her hair out between chapters, and she reunited with Cole.
Oh my god, what a beautiful young woman you've become.
Yeah, this game did not age well.
How's Nathan?
Oh, he's the big boss now. He's running the DPA. He's come a long way since the days of our little lab.
Have they made any progress on the Infraworld?
Oh, they've sunk millions into developing a new condenser, the most powerful ever created. Of course, that was only possible once the Army got involved.
You're working with the Army?
Oh, Nathan had no choice, really. It's funding, on the condition of exploring possible military applications. Go figure.
What I talked to you about? Did you find out anything?
On the day you were born, a woman named Nora Gray had a child in a DPA hospital. Her child was declared stillborn. All I know is that she took part in a DPA research program some 20 years back. She also had a gift.
Where is Nora now?
She was interned in a psychiatric hospital just after she gave birth. According to her file, she should still be there now.
I've got to go see her.
Jody, I know how you feel, but she's in a mental hospital. You might not get the answers you're looking for.
I'm not looking for answers. I just need to see her. I mean, don't you understand? She's my mother. If I look her in the eye, I could find out who I truly am.
Jody, she's in a high-security DPA facility, and you're wanted by every law enforcement agency in the country. You won't be able to walk right in.
So they walk right into the mental hospital.
Jesus. Crazy folk really freak me out. Can we find room 43 and get the hell out of here?
Okay, but first let's check out these patients.
I can see you, Aiden. I can see you.
Not gonna lie, this blew my mind when I saw it the first time. The implications and ramifications of someone actually being able to see Aiden is crazy. He's always been this invisible force to be reckoned with.
Go away! Stay out of my room! You're the devil!
And now a few of these mental patients can actually see Aiden, like their heads follow him around the room. It's crazy.
I'll wait here. Jody, She may have lost her mind.
Yeah, Cole, the psychiatric hospital patient may have lost her mind. That's a high probability.
She might not even know you're there. Maybe you shouldn't go in.
She's unconscious. Let's learn her backstory.
Well done, Nora. The mother and the father, both gifted. Do you realize how important this baby is? You won't be able to, Nora. Let us take care of everything. It's for the best. You know that.
That's my baby! Bring her back! I've changed my mind! I want her to hit
Sedate her
me!
quickly.
Please!
Get the baby out of here!
See her! Please let me see her! I want my child! Please
She
let
may
me
develop
see
some
her!
special abilities. Let us know as soon as anything unusual happens. Increase the dose. Make sure she never regains consciousness.
What I did? What are you trying to show me?
But wait, there's more.
Destroy this thing, Aiden. Oh, my little girl. My little girl.
The drugs they gave me trapped me in this hell. There's nothing I can do. Just wait for it to end.
I'm gonna get you out of here. I'm gonna help you.
It's too late, Jody. It's too late.
There's only one way to free her from this purgatory. Aiden? We did it, Aiden. We've made it 2 hours into the video. Oh no!
The most powerful condenser ever created. Impressive, isn't it?
Nathan. Oh.
Jody, it's good to see you. Let's go into my office.
I'm gonna shut up for a second and let this well-acted movie scene play out.
Please, have a seat. How do you feel?
I've been better. That hit on the head did not help.
No, I'm sorry. I told them not to hurt you. I just didn't want to give you a chance to use Aiden.
How did they find me?
They've been tracking you ever since you escaped. They wanted to kill you. But I convinced them to wait for a while, watch you from a distance.
What happened to my mother, Nathan?
Nora wasn't stable. They were afraid she was a danger to herself and her baby.
My mother would never hurt me.
They couldn't take that chance. Look, I was a researcher at the DPA, Jody. I didn't discover until much later what happened.
Why did you never tell me about my mother? Why did you hide the truth all these years?
I tried to tell you. But how do you tell a little girl that her life isn't real? So, I looked after you, loved you, tried to protect you as best as I could.
So now what? You're just gonna hand me back to the CIA? Is that the plan, Nathan?
They brought you here because they have something for you to do, and they'd be very grateful if you do it.
Help them? You want me to help the people that took away my mother and stole my life? I mean, haven't I done enough?
We know another country has discovered the infraworld. They think it's something to be controlled or manipulated. They have no idea what they're dealing with.
Oh, but it's okay if the US military controls and manipulates the infraworld. Why do you think they funded your research, Nathan?
If entities enter our world, do you know what that would mean, Jody?
You know what, Nathan? I don't know. I mean, I told you a few years ago, don't let them do that again. If they open a passage, there'll be nothing left. But you went ahead and literally created the Black Hole Sun. From Soundgarden.
What has all this got to do with me?
Because you know the infraworld better than anyone.
Yeah, I've just had a paranormal entity tethered to my soul since birth, so yeah, I'm totally an expert on the infraworld.
It's the CIA's job. And I'm done with that.
They want to offer you a deal. You do this for them, and they let you out, you're free. Jody, do you know what would happen if a passage is open?
You've already asked me that.
It'll be the apocalypse. You have the power to stop this.
I'm very good at acting.
Okay, so technically one of the childhood flashback scenes I mentioned an hour and 37 minutes ago was supposed to play next, but for the sake of the video, I'll save it till after the mission.
According to our intel, the Republic of Kazakhstan has discovered the existence of the infraworld. Found a rift, conducting experiments from a secret base located in the province of Heilongjiang.
We don't know what stage they are in their experiments, but we've detected important fluctuations within the infraworld. That means they found a way to interact with the other side.
Oh no, another country is doing the exact same thing we were gonna do with the infraworld. We have to stop them. These people are not concerned about the dangers of the infraworld. They want to use that to their benefit and prevent other countries from using it. It's an allegory for nuclear weapons. Oppenheimer 2 souls.
But this operation will gain time to better understand the infraworld and make sure that no one try to use it against us.
I assume the site will be heavily guarded?
Well, you should expect considerable military resistance. Team will.
Team?
Hey, baby. Good to see you, girl.
That might be the most unprofessional way to enter a room. Like, you didn't walk into a house party, guys.
Clayton's team goes with you, a small, agile commando unit able to avoid detection. The mission begins in 2 days. Good luck.
Be careful, Jody. No one knows what you're gonna find on the other side.
Don't worry. I don't think I'm ready to join the infraworld yet.
This is the exact same exchange they had in the Condenser chapter. It's the exact same thing!
It's good to see you.
For the mission's sake, I'll try and forget what a fucking bastard you are.
Jody,
You know what? Don't even try.
Yeah, turns out that first impression she had of him when they first met was correct. You ain't shit, Ryan.
Great.
The sex wasn't even that good. Yeah, I said it. So the mission takes place in a harsh winter blizzard. We have to take shelter.
It's fucking freezing. What are we doing here? It's just a goddamn fishing village.
Our informer duped us. That's what happened. We better get moving before they have to dig our frozen dead asses out of here.
3 days, walking on ice, eating snow, for nothing. Fuck! I find the asshole that sent us here.
Hey! I'm sick and tired of hearing you complaining. That's all you have to say, then shut the fuck up!
I'll admit, that line delivery made 16-year-old me chuckle.
You think maybe we could build a fire first and argue later?
She's right. We'll set up camp here till the storm blows over. I'll contact HQ and get instructions.
Alright, let's start that fire.
You're a fucking genius. Give me 5 minutes. Did you see that, Jody?
Yeah. You have great work, guys. Did you get a connection?
No, it's gonna take some time with the storm. You're still angry with me, huh? It probably won't make you change your mind, but I regret what happened.
You're right. It doesn't make me change my mind. I'm gonna go out. I'm desperate for a pee.
Don't go too far, okay?
It's minus 40. I don't plan on doing any sightseeing.
Man, look at the PS3 graphics on that coat. Those are just wiggling textures. Oh my god, there's tanks!
They're here. I saw them.
Where?
On the main road. A convoy of armored cars. They drove right by me.
They see you?
No. No, I don't think so.
Let's roll. Bingo.
I didn't go see what's inside. Soldiers. They're loading crates into submarines.
Submarines? That means the rift is...
It's underwater. I mean, they must have a base down there, and they're using the subs to shuttle supplies.
How many soldiers?
I can see 3.
Tell Aiden to take them out.
Aiden? Get rid of them.
Alright, let's take care of these guys.
Fuck, Nick!
Sorry.
You could give me some warning.
Well, now I'm curious what that felt like. Like, a soul that's tethered to you is possessing someone's body, and that possessed body gets shot.
Just give me a
Like,
second,
I can't even fathom
okay?
what that would feel like.
I've piloted a sub like this on the CIA simulator. I mean, maybe we can use it.
Yeah, sure, let's use their sub. They won't notice anything. I'm looking for a plan, not a way to commit suicide. What exactly are you doing? Okay. That might work from a distance. Then what?
We take the sub down to the base. And then we take it from there.
I'll go with her.
What about us?
It's a 2-seater. You stay here, you find us a way out. By the time we get back, there's a good chance we're gonna have to move fast. What? Wait, that's an order, Nick!
I feel like they could have brought Nick with them in uniform to escort them through the base. He would blend in more with everyone else there.
Give me the explosives.
But no, it has to be the 2 protagonist characters. These 2 guys, they don't matter.
Keep diving. The base shouldn't be far.
Fun fact, Quantic Dream loved this submarine section so much they published a whole game of that. Side note, no one gives a damn about your submarine game, Quantic Dream. I'm waiting for Dustborn. Hell yeah, baby, Dustborn, let's go! Your Star Wars game won't be coming out for another 50 years. Let's get hyped for Dustborn.
There. You see the lights? I hope that wasn't a question.
You would think CIA operatives would be multilingual. This game has really been saying fuck every language that's not English. You don't get subtitles, none of the main characters in the game will understand you. It truly does not matter what you're saying if it's not English.
Now what?
We find the condenser, destroy it, and get out.
And any idea how you plan to do that?
No. But I'll figure something out.
They really are just winging it, aren't they? Just complete improv going into this secret underwater base like fuck it, we ball.
The condenser's close. I'm feeling echoes coming from the rift.
This is too easy. I don't like it.
Anyway, we infiltrate the base, but oh no, Aiden can't get through the containment field.
Jodie! Jodie, what's happening?
It's Aiden.
We got caught.
My questions are simple. I want to know your name, who you work for, and how you learn of the existence of this base. Of course, you also have to tell me what happened when you crossed the containment field.
Say nothing, you hear me?
So this right here feels like an important choice to make, right? Whether to tell them everything and prevent Ryan from being hurt, or keep my mouth shut and Ryan suffers greatly. You want to know the one consequence this choice results in? It determines whether or not Ryan wears an eye patch. That's it. If you choose not to talk, they gouge out Ryan's eye and he wears an eye patch. If you choose to talk, she says that her and Ryan are with the CIA and they just leave. This has no impact on whether you fail or succeed at the mission. This is purely a cosmetic change for one character. Can you imagine a narrative story-driven game where the only impact you have is changing the character's clothes? Can't affect the story in any way, it's completely linear, but you can choose what the characters wear. I just realized that's what would happen if Telltale made a Barbie game. That would be crazy. Anyway, Aiden shuts down the condenser and all the ghosts run wild.
Hurry. Hurry. Finally. Can you walk?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Go back to the subs. Wait for me. If I'm not back in 15 minutes, just go without me.
You crazy? Well, Jody, we've done it. The base is destroyed. Let's get out of here while we still can.
The rift is wide open. Entities are just gonna come pouring out if we don't close it.
It's too late, Jody. We gotta go now.
It's the only way. You know that.
So we find the rift, put on a deep-sea diving suit, walk egregiously slow to the rift, underwater, put the explosives on it, get chased by a giant ghost fish, climb out of the water.
You're going to die here with me.
And now we're having a fight scene that's honestly pretty cool.
Greatest discovery the world has ever known. Destroyed because of you, stupid American bitch! Years of work, all for nothing! See you on the other side.
And we get the heck out of here.
What the fuck happened?
The shockwave killed the boosters.
Look, the hole's breached. We're gonna drown.
We're not far from the surface. Maybe we can make it to the top alive.
Yeah. Sounds like a fucking good plan.
Yeah, Ryan can swim through ice-cold water wearing just a wife-beater shirt because he's a badass.
Fuck, I hate the cold.
You still angry with me?
No. I'm too cold to be angry.
You know, I never had time to tell you this, but, I love you, Jody.
Diamond shit.
But wanted you to know just in case we die here.
Right.
So how about you?
Huh?
Do you love me too?
I thought for one moment, but no, I don't. Sorry.
Never seen anyone so pig-headed.
Totally normal reaction to being rejected. Flashback to childhood! It's late at night and Jody's watching some cartoons. I love that in the last 3 Quantic Dream games, there's a TV you can watch a cartoon on.
Nathan, I'm so tired. Can we go now?
Oh, jeez. Is that what time it is? I'm sorry, I was concentrating on my work. I know you've had a long day. Hey, this morning I bought you a book. What do you say we get you tucked in and I read to you?
Yes, please.
I must have left it in the other room.
So, where did he leave that book? Stop it, Aiden. It's not funny. Aiden? You doing that, Aiden?
I don't understand why this game doesn't put ethereal, ghostly effects on the character models that are supposed to be ghosts. I mean, we still get that they're ghosts from context clues, but would you be able to tell the old lady in the wheelchair is dead from this image? Like, there's no way.
You found it. Now we can get down to the serious business of bedtime stories.
Like, those are just 2 bloody people physically standing behind him. They look corporeal, but we know they're not.
You look pale.
She looks dead tired is how she looks. Come on, Nathan, let's get her off to bed. Yes. Yes, hold on. Nathan, it's for you.
Nathan Dawkins.
Nathan? Nathan, what's up?
My wife. Daughter, they were coming back from my mother's. Truck. Drunk driver. Wrong side of the road. They're dead.
Jody, let's get you off to bed. Nathan, stay right here. I'll be right back. Come on, Jody. Good night, princess.
Is Nathan okay? When will I see him again?
Oh, I don't know, honey. He hasn't left his office in 3 days. He loved his wife and daughter more than anything in the world. But we can try again tomorrow, okay?
Where could this mysterious soul be leading me?
Jody. What are you doing here? It's late. Go back to bed.
This scene looks great and all, but is it just me or does the PS3 version look way sadder? Like the remaster smoothed out his character model. He still looks sad, but it's like slightly less sad somehow. This man lost his family. He should look utterly destroyed right now. And I think the PS3 captures that better.
Don't be sad, Daddy.
What did you say?
It was so quick. Mommy couldn't do anything. But it didn't hurt.
Stop it, Jody.
It didn't hurt at all.
You hear me? Stop it right now.
We're here, Nathan. We're right by your side.
Helen. Laura.
We love you, darling. We'll always love you.
Talk to me again. Jody. Make them come back. Make them come back again.
I can't. They've gone.
Please. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. I miss them so much.
This is my favorite chapter of the game. Just everything about it is perfectly executed.
We are now the only nation with access to the Infraworld. This situation opens up new strategic and military perspectives. Now we're gonna launch new programs to discover possible energy resources.
I'm sure the energy resources they get from this will be completely ethical and not just feeding off the souls of the dead.
We've already found ways of linking entities to human soldiers, and this is just the beginning. Now, this is more important than the race to space for developing nuclear capability. We have discovered a new world. A world for us to conquer.
My brother in Christ, you're talking about the afterlife? The world of the dead? You're gonna try to conquer that? What are you talking? What do you mean?
This is the beginning of a new era for our nation.
Pentagon top brass getting you down?
I did what they wanted me to do. It's not my business anymore.
Jody, I know it's been complicated between us. And I didn't always do the right thing. But maybe we could start again. You know, try and build something together. I mean, after all the stuff we've been through, maybe we could make it work.
I'm not ready.
I mean, what do we really know about this guy? We had a nice date, we slept together, he tricked me into killing a foreign president. That's really all we've done together.
I understand. Well, look, whatever you do, just remember I'll always be there for you.
Ah, there you are. Nathan's looking for you. Come on, I'll take you to his office. Later, Ryan.
Whatever Nathan says, be careful.
I kept my part of the bargain. Now it's the CIA's turn.
As far as the CIA is concerned, you no longer exist. You're now Elizabeth North. A new identity, a new life. $500,000 for services rendered. That should help make a new start.
At this point, why would you refuse that? You go through that entire underwater base mission and refuse the identity change in $500,000? Like, come on.
Before you go, there's one last thing I'd like to ask. When my wife and daughter disappeared in that accident 15 years ago.
And this is why those childhood flashback scenes were saved till the end of the game. The traumatic loss of his family is still fresh in the player's memory. It would be weird if this was in complete chronological order, where it goes from depressed Nathan to him dropping off Jodie at a birthday party. Like, wow, he recovered fast. Like, it would be Nathan loses his family, and we play through 6 to 7 hours of game before that ever comes up again. So that was a smart move to have those be flashback scenes at the end of the game.
Never being able to hold them again. It was like a wound that wouldn't heal. But then you came along. And I realized they were still here all the time, near me. I just couldn't see. The government gave me everything I needed to study the infraworld. They were interested in military applications. I was interested in seeing my family again. It's taken me some years, but I finally succeeded in creating this. Hello, my darlings. Helen. Laura. I miss you so much. I come to see them every day. Soon we'll be together. I'm working on a modified condenser that can communicate with souls of the infraworld. Speaking with the dead, Jodie. Can you imagine?
What do you want from me?
I want you to help me talk to them. I want to hear their voices. I want to tell them what I'm doing. Until I finish my research, you're the only one that can do it.
Why does the game give you a choice here? You literally can't leave without helping him.
Nathan. No. No. Don't ask me that.
I haven't heard their voices for 15 years. Since that day I heard them through a little girl. You.
If you pick refuse or reject, he begs you to help him, and you help him. This has to be one of the worst examples of a choice not mattering in a game, because what the hell?
Helen. My darling. I missed you so much.
Let us go, Nathan. You're hurting us. You've got to let us go. Let us die.
You're lying. Helen didn't say that. You did.
You're keeping them here. They're being torn apart between two worlds.
That's not true. You're lying. I know they want to be with me again. I know they want to be with me.
They're suffering, Nathan. If you love them, if you really love them, you've got to let them go. You can't cheat death.
Cheat death? Death is nothing. You hear me? Nothing.
Goodbye, Nathan. I hope you find peace.
Hold on, before we go in the elevator, let's check if there's an ambush waiting for me. Oh, we can't see inside the elevator. There's probably an ambush. Oh no, why do the guns have flashlights on? We're in a lit building.
We can't let you go. We can't kill you either. We don't know what you'll do on the other side.
Why can't they let me go, though? What do they think I'm gonna do? I literally just want to leave. I just want to go far away and be Elizabeth North, half a millionaire.
We inject you with a neuro acid, which will put you in a permanent coma. Exactly what we did with your mother.
I understand why they did it to her mother. They took away her baby and were trying to silence her, but why me? I get that I can be dangerous and a threat, maybe, but I just want to get out of here.
Jodie. You opened my eyes. It was so obvious, but I didn't want to see.
Oh, hey, Nathan, you look sane right now.
I'm going to accomplish man's oldest dream. Nobody will have to die anymore. No one will ever be separated again.
What are you talking about?
The containment field. I'm going to deactivate it. The Infraworld will spread through our dimension. Life and death, united in one world.
Nathan, need I remind you? Terrifying killer fish monsters. Did you forget about those? Have you even seen them?
It's not just souls on the other side. It's death.
I've beaten death, Jodie. Everything's gonna be just fine. You need to trust me. Everything is gonna turn out fine.
Aiden to the rescue. Hey, bozos, Jodie's in danger.
You keep entities in this lab?
Good God, no. They're all trapped behind the containment field.
Aiden? Is that you, Aiden? If this is a joke, it's not funny.
Why would Aiden be here without Jodie?
What is it, Aiden? Where's Jodie? Lead us to Jodie, Aiden. Show us the way.
This is a fun little gameplay segment of Aiden interacting with objects to lead Ryan and Cole to Jodie.
Nathan! He's gonna deactivate the containment field.
What?
Why? Why would he do that?
He's gone insane. He thinks he's gonna get his family back. We gotta stop him.
Jodie! You're the only one who can stop this. Dawkins has gone mad. He took down the field. You gotta get rid of these goddamn monsters now!
I ought to kill you, McGrath. But the last thing the Infraworld needs is a son of a bitch like you. Get out of my way.
Clayton! Get me out of here immediately, Clayton! Agent Clayton, that's an order!
Consider that my resignation.
You're all gonna die here. We're all gonna die.
What are you doing?
It's a portable containment field. Should protect me long enough to reach the condenser and trigger the manual self-destruct. Might be our only chance to close the rift. It's a long shot, but it's the best I got.
You're talking crazy, Cole. We need to get out of here, let the military clean up their own fucking mess. Jodie, no.
Paul's right. It's our only chance. Right?
I always figured I'd die a hero.
The Black Sun is at the center of the dome. No one's ever been before, so there's no telling what we'll find down there.
How much time do we have after we've activated the
The
self-destruct?
system was designed to be activated remotely. The explosion will be practically instantaneous. We're not coming back.
You know what's crazy about that? All three of them survive and make it out of there. Very suspenseful, though, at the moment. Oh, one of them got Cole. He's gonna have to sit out this one.
The Black Sun, Jodie. Or nobody will make it.
He's right. Come on, Jodie.
He's fine, by the way.
Black hole sun, won't you come? Wash away the rain.
You hear that?
Don't listen to it! Keep going!
Who are they?
Souls! Lost souls!
Helen! Laura! I can't find them! I call them, but they don't come!
Look, Nathan! Look at what you've done! You've destroyed everything because you can't face the truth!
I miss them! I miss them so much!
Maybe there's still a chance to stop this! I know it's not what you want! I know it's not what Helen and Laura would have wanted!
missed you. I missed you so much.
Very bold of this game to show suicide in a positive light. No one in the right mind would ever do that, but this game is like, hey, someone you love is dead, join them.
You're the only one who can fix this, Jodie.
Oh no, we're being attacked. Oh no, my belt is malfunctioning. Ryan's giving me his belt. Why are they kissing? They should have not shown that cutscene if I rejected him. Why is this a required viewing? Anyway, this segment's pretty cool. You're trudging towards the shutdown switch, being pulled back, showing segments of your life, and you're aging backwards through time. So by the time you reach the shutdown switch, you're a child again. So cool. Time for the big reveal.
Give me back my child.
Calm down, Nora.
I want to see her. My little girl. My little boy.
For God's sake, what's going on?
The twin. He strangled him. Cord. We couldn't do
My
anything.
son. I want to see my son.
Aiden. My twin. My brother. Stillborn.
This background is immaculate. It's so gorgeous.
Aiden. We couldn't leave each other. Our souls were bound together. I loved you and hated you for years. You were a part of me.
Hold on, freeze frame. There he is, folks. Aiden, the default male 3D model. We found him.
Other side. Another world. Becoming the wind, the stars, the universe. Being with Aiden and those I've loved forever. Living, feeling, being in love.
Love you, Jodie.
Growing old.
I love you.
So many things I still have to do.
Tough decision ahead of us. You know what? Jodie made it halfway through life. She'll finish the rest later.
I think I like this little life. This little life.
I don't even care if that was cringe. I had to make that reference.
We're alive.
Aiden?
We made it. Jodie, we made it.
Aiden?
And so the black hole sun was destroyed, but we've lost our connection to Aiden. Truly a sad moment. Please fast forward this. So, I know people on the internet give David Cage a lot of shit for valid reasons, but I gotta say he popped off with this epilogue scene. It's pretty good.
Ever since the Black Sun was destroyed, my memory has been disintegrating. I spent too much time on the other side. Now it's eating away at my mind, erasing what's left of it. My memories are all confused, slowly self-destructing, fading like a dream when you wake up. I'm losing my sense of time. I no longer know what happened before or after. Everything's playing inside my head at the same time. It's like watching the same film looping over and over again. A chaos of images with no order. So I've been writing night and day for weeks, trying to put my life down on paper. If I forget everything, these pages will be my memory.
3 months after the fact, the investigation continues in an effort to determine the cause of the accident that cost 283 lives on a Pentagon military base. Government representatives confirm that the authorities are working hand in hand with the investigators to shed light on this appalling tragedy.
The CIA is leaving me alone for the moment. I suppose they're too busy building another condenser to worry about me.
I can't believe they're making another one. They have actually learned nothing.
I know they'll never abandon their experiments, now that they know what's on the other side. Honestly,
Pepsi bottle? A Coca-Cola glass?
I don't give a damn. Now I need to reconstruct my life. My life without Aiden. For as long as I can remember, I dreamt of living without him. Untied, without his constant presence by my side. I got what I wanted. I've never been so unhappy in my life. I feel like part of me has been amputated. I'm crying all day. I know it's stupid. Shit. I miss him so much. It took months. Months of nothing passing by. Then I woke up. I knew it was time. Time to start again. To build a new life.
So these are our life options. Alone, reunite with the former homeless people and the baby, go back to the Navajo ranch, or reconnect with Ryan. I'm gonna go with the former homeless group. They were good people.
It was so obvious. Deep inside, I always knew. I just needed the silence around me to hear what I was feeling. I told Ryan I couldn't see my future with him. We've been through too many difficult times together. Times I want to forget. He said he understood. That he'd wait as long as it takes.
Please don't. Please stop waiting for me. I chose not to be with you, and you're not respecting my choice, Ryan.
I know I felt something for him. It just wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, I actually don't feel shit about you, as a matter of fact.
They took me in when I was alone. When all I could think of was dying. They shared the little they had without knowing me or judging me. Deep down, I knew that my place was there.
Oh my God.
With them. Stan does odd jobs here and there. Jimmy's gone back to school. He's clean now. Tuesday works behind a bar, and Walter looks after little Zoe. They're not rolling in money, but they manage.
Yeah, this is definitely the best ending.
I never told them about my past. And they never asked. They love me for who I am. Just some weird chick who talks to spirits. Zoe took to me like we'd always known each other.
There's something about her big, sad eyes that reminds me of the little girl I once was. I knew she was different from the moment I saw her. We haven't talked about it, but we both know we have something in common. I see things at night. Terrifying things. I tell myself it's only nightmares, but I know it's not true. The only one who can save the world is a little girl. I have to prepare her. I know I don't have much time. Once Pandora's box is open, it can never be closed again.
Everyone keeps asking for a Detroit Become Human sequel. We forgot we all gave up hope for a Beyond sequel. They were never gonna follow up with this cliffhanger teaser. This was for nothing.
What is about to happen?
This in memoriam actually made me sad. Normand Corbeil composed the music for Heavy Rain. That game has an amazing soundtrack. Well, that was my 3-hour whatever the fuck video about Beyond Two Souls. This video didn't really have a point it was trying to make. I was just kind of waffling about, recording game footage, adding some commentary, and doing fun little edits. I think the main thing is I had fun making this video, and that can just be reason enough for it to exist. I started this video saying I have a love-hate relationship with this game, but then corrected it to say love-dislike, because there was nothing I really hated about this game. But you know what? Now that I replayed it, there is something I hate about it. You know how in Choose Your Own Adventure games, the choices you make earlier in the game affect the story later in the game, meaning you have direct impact on how the story progresses? The story of Beyond Two Souls being originally told out of order means that there would be no continuity between scenes. It doesn't matter that there's huge chunks of Jodie's life missing from the story that the player should have known about. The whole story is out of order anyway, we're just gonna jump around. I feel like the 4 main pieces missing from the story are as follows. From childhood to the birthday party, from the birthday party to emo teenager, from the hunted chapter to the homeless chapter, from the Navajo chapter to reuniting with Cole in the park. If these gaps in the story don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, then I should shut the hell up, actually. I think what Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human have that this game severely lacks is consequence. I cannot stress enough how little impact the player has over the story. This game was such a mess, Quantic Dream had to put out one of the best games of all time to make up for it. Jodie, play as the Weezer Lick.